After the first off week of the season, the Lotus 79 returns to the track in the land of cheese as we get set for 100 laps and 100 miles around the famed Milwaukee Mile for race number 4 of the first season of the RIL Legends Series. Howdy folks, my name is Tommy Cook. Thank you for choosing to spend your time here with us on Turn 200 Productions for the RIL Legends Series. And spending some time here in the booth, or choosing to, maybe not, I don't know. The man of many names, the wearer of many hats, Mr. Matt Williamson. How are you doing here tonight?
Mr. Tommy Cook, I am doing fantastic. After a week off, I am more than ready to get back in the broadcast booth and watch some exciting RIL Legend Series action here tonight.
I mean, we've got 3 races down and a few more to go, and they've all been exciting. This will be our 3rd oval race of the season, and we've had 2 high-speed slugfests at Atlanta and Michigan. But this is a mile track. Really, it's a mile and change here at the Milwaukee Mile. And this venue doesn't look so keen to reproduce that kind of racing action here tonight. So what are we expecting to see here at the mile?
Well, here at the mile, like you said, it's going to be a little different. You know, we've had a couple of oval tracks thus far, but those have really been pack racing, drafting type of tracks. Here at the Milwaukee Mile, it is not going to be... It's not going to be like that. Here we're going to have, first of all, it's a proportional track. That means that the turns and the straights are the same on both sides. And with this track, we're going to have a lot more off-throttle time than we have at our other ovals that we have raced this season. The corners are a little bit tighter. They're going to have to roll off the throttle a lot more than they have in the past, and they're going to have to get on it a little bit differently than they have so far this season. So that could come up and bite a couple of our drivers here this evening. Also going to be much lower speed since it's only a mile-long track. The max speed into the corners are probably only going to be about 160 compared to like what we saw at Michigan where they were over 200. So a little bit different there. And the racing, like I said before, not going to be pack style. You know, the drafting is not going to be as big of a factor here as it has been in the past at our ovals, so that's something to keep an eye on. It's going to be a little bit more spread out. The guys are really going to have to work on getting in the corners correctly and having real good exits getting out of there. And we're hoping that we have some long green flag runs. With the pack racing, things are super tight. The longest green flag run of the season has only been 14 laps thus far. I'm expecting it to be a lot more than that because that's not very big runs with these cars. Long. Not for these cars at all. And as far as the fuel window goes, because we're hoping to have those green flag runs, we're hoping that we might hit a fuel window here tonight. It's just shy of 50 laps. So if we do end up going that far, we might see some green flag pit stops here.
And not only that, but 50 laps is half this race. If it's just shy of 50, we might have a multi-stop race. Who knows? Who knows how these guys are going to race or save fuel and all that. We've mentioned the topsy-turvy points format of this series, and it's been 3 chaotic and topsy-turvy races thus far in this season. And let's take a look at the point standings after Michigan here, and really a few things to keep your eye on here heading into round number 4.
Yeah, so one big thing to mention, which is actually kind of crazy, our top 4 drivers after round 3 in Michigan is actually the exact same guys in the exact same order as we had after our very first race at Atlanta. So kind of interesting there. And first we have Drew White, and second Neil Lusher, third Nicholas Isidro, and fourth is Christopher Kresge at the moment. Just kind of wild that those 4 have ended up where they are after a couple of more races, and just very interesting. So those guys are definitely something to take a look at. Drew White has been incredible at the ovals so far, not so good at the road course, so definitely going to be a factor in today's race if I had to guess. Going down the list here out of our top 10, we got Michael DeTurk, James Watson, Wes A. Shire, Justin Miller, Christopher Hill in 9th, and Joshua Tucker rounding out our top 10. One person to note, Christopher Kresge did not have a very good round at the Glen. He actually had a DNF, so he's back to the 4th after last week at Michigan. And Michael DeTurk won the road course at the Glen, and he's 5th in the standings right now. So Christopher Kresge, nice little rebound. Those are some of the guys to take a look at here tonight.
Thank you very much, Matt. Yep, those are the points. Keep them locked and stocked in the back of your brain here as we're getting ready to close out qualifying. A couple of quick notes. Uh, uh, the RIL Legends Series continues to be supported by the Let's Race Special Events Series. Let's Race is hosting a free entry race with cash prizes on Sunday, April 10th. Is that this Sunday? I think that's this Sunday.
It indeed is.
At 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, April 10th, with the Dallara IR18 at iRacing Super Speedway. The event is called Don't Be Last. Join the Let's Race Discord. Should be seeing a link here in the chat before too long. And sign up to race this Sunday. And don't be last. And thank you to Christian Jasper as well for our points graphic. He does a great job. And Christian Jasper is back in action here tonight. We'll get to our starting lineup before too long. But first, we're going to go ahead and pull in our in-race reporter tonight, car number 92, Ben Carswell. Ben Carswell going to be starting a little deeper in the pack than maybe you wanted here tonight. But if you showed anything at Michigan, is that you know how to navigate through the chaos that was in front of you. So maybe this is where you want to be, maybe not. I don't know. What's your mindset here going into Milwaukee?
Yeah, I don't want to be back here, but that's where I am. It is what it is. But the car really takes a while to come in. You're going to see lap times play for second 7/10 over the course of a run, which is not really what we're used to with this. So it's going to be interesting. As the tires sort of lose stickiness, the car rotates better. So I'm not really sure what to expect.
I'd say expect the unexpected then. Probably not favorable to be in 17th, but we have faith that you can get it on here tonight. Best of luck to you, and hope to talk to you sometime in the middle of the race.
Yep. Talk to you later.
That is car number 92, Ben Carswell. And let's go ahead and get to the starting lineup here. Running the exact same time. I don't know how they determine who gets the pole out of this situation, but Gavin Sanders has returned here tonight to grab his best start of the season. He will lead the field to the green flag with a time of 24.936 seconds. Starting to his outside with the exact same time our in-race reporter from last week, Nate Siefker in car number 2 on the outside pole. Inside of row number 2, the driver out of Rochester, New York, car number 47, Michael DeTurk, a winner at Watkins Glen. To his outside, a Schaefer's IndyCar League champion in car number 82, Dakota DeMade. Rounding out your top 5 starters here tonight out of Poughkeepsie, New York, in car number 16, Wes A. Shire. And to his outside, the man from Nashville, the man with all the graphics and all the know-how, did not race with us in Michigan last week. Happy to see him back here on the grid, Christian Jasper, car number 44, on the outside of row number 3. Justin Miller almost pulled off an amazing move to take his very first victory of the season in car number 80. He'll start 7th tonight. To his outside, car number 112, Joshua Tucker. Last week's winner, James Watson, starts on the inside of row 5. And third place in the points right now, car number 424, Nicholas Isidro. Current points leader, Drew White, starts on the inside of row number 6 with Kevin Missig in car number 114 to his outside. Kerry Kelso scheduled to start on the inside of row number 7, but he just got booted from the server. We hope to see him back here before too long. Christopher Kresge on the outside of row number 7. Peter Donchak, Bless Lopez on row number 8. Ben Carswell and Neil Lusher on row number 9. Neil Lusher second in points. DL Lemon did not post a qualifying time, so he will be scheduled to start in 19th. Matt, what do you say? 100 laps, 100 miles here in Milwaukee. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do this thing, my man.
Amen. Here we go. It's Gavin Sanders, Nate Siefker on row number 1. Pace car is off. We are green. It'll be interesting to see what lines everybody is going to take here. Once we get things sorted out, whoa, big movement there. I believe that was Christian Jasper who just lost a few spots heading into turn number 1. Our leaders are side by side into turn 3. On the bottom, it's going to be Gavin Sanders, who pulls out to the early advantage and will maybe lead lap number 1 here. We'll see. Nate Siefker with a little bit of a run down the straightaway. Pulls up to the outside, but is going to lose some momentum on corner entry. Gets it back through the exit, and that's the different lines that we're going to have to keep our eyes on here as this race rolls along.
Yeah, like we kind of mentioned at the beginning of this, certainly a little bit different style of racing. So guys are going to be taking some different lines here probably tonight, and that'll be something to look for as there may be some crossovers and some other things happening. So should be a good show, and we're looking forward to it as Gavin Sanders still has that lead as we go into the backstretch of lap number 3.
Gavin Sanders, the driver from Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, leading the way. He raced one race with us thus far. He was in the season opener at Atlanta, and things really did not go his way. He came in late, didn't get to post a qualifying time, and got caught up in the last 2 cautions and did not finish the race. And happy to see him back here tonight after now a 3-week hiatus. And leading the way, leading his first laps of the season here with the RIL Legends Series. Right now, your top 5 is Sanders, Siefker, DeTurk, DeMade, and Wes A. Shire in 5th. That is how they started from 1st to 5th, and that is how they run. Justin Miller has made up a spot. He's up to 6th. James Watson is up 2 spots, up to 7th. Christian Jasper has fallen from 6th to 8th. Nicholas Isidro is up 1 spot in 9th. And Joshua Tucker has fallen 2 spots to round out your top 10. Kerry Kelso has yet to rejoin the race after getting disconnected from the server at the worst possible time. Of course, we would know about that.
We certainly would, wouldn't we, Mr. Tommy?
Yes.
We were just taking a look here at Christian Jasper. He actually ended up getting a spot back. Currently finds himself in 8th. He found his way past Nicholas Isidro to take back 1 spot. So he has lost a couple. Looks like Joshua Tucker's lost a couple as well. And our big mover so far is our in-race reporter, Ben Carswell, who is under fire from Drew White at the moment.
That's the battle for 11th, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed it is. It looks like Carswell has the spot right now as he pulls in front of Drew White to complete that pass.
And Drew White was our first alternate to be our in-race reporter here tonight. So it's kind of funny seeing those two battle it out right away. Drew White said that he would be more eager to volunteer to be the in-race reporter, but this is a direct quote. He said, "I'm not sure if I'll last long in this race."
Oh, no.
So, that is the current points leader saying that, and right now he's running 12th. So not what you want to hear from a guy who has done so well on the ovals thus far this year. Really done well. He did well at Watkins Glen as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a pretty decent showing here so far. I mean, I know we're early here, only 10 out of 100 laps completed, or we're going into lap 10, excuse me. So still a lot of time for him to get to work, and, as he keeps clicking laps off, he's going to learn a few things. So I'm looking for him to maybe have a better showing than he might expect here tonight.
So not much movement inside of the top 10 after the first couple of laps there. I believe the last pass inside the top 10 was Christian Jasper getting past Nicholas Isidro a few laps ago for spot number 8. Right now, Gavin Sanders the leader with a 1.1 second advantage over Nate Siefker. That gap is not closing as of this time. Kerry Kelso, unfortunately, has had another packet loss situation, so he has gone from the server yet again. And that's a tough break for Kerry, who has been in trouble a few times this season, but has always rallied to have good finishes. Was inside the top 5 last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago in Michigan, and got hit by another car, but then still rallied to finish inside the top 10, and came into the night in 17th in points, which I don't think is very reflective of how he's run this year. He's been pretty consistently like an 8th to 12th place car, which is, I mean, that's good against these guys. So,
oh, certainly. I mean,
hopefully he can at least come in and clean up some laps and maybe pick off a couple of stragglers.
Yeah, I mean, we have some really incredible drivers here in this series. I mean, we got a bunch of guys with high 3,000, low 4,000 I ratings. I mean, we have some great drivers here in the RIL Legends Series. So
more than I could ever strive for.
Certainly, I can agree with that. The ovals I may be able to do okay in, but when we get to the road courses, I would certainly be in trouble. So for some of these guys to be hanging in here with some of the top dogs on the service. Certainly nothing to sneeze at.
Gap between Sanders and Siefker right now is 1.2 seconds. That gap closed just a little bit, about a tenth and a half that lap between Siefker and Sanders. Michael DeTurk right now in third, DeMade in fourth, Shire in fifth. And a few things to keep in mind here as we roll along. Fuel window is 50 or less. So you really got to be careful with your fuel here as we roll along. You got to be careful with your tires. And lap traffic is not going to be a problem for a while, but when it is a problem, it's going to be a problem. Does that make sense?
I think I know what you're talking about there, Tommy. Something else to kind of mention here is tire wear, as you just mentioned. We have not really had a race this season where, or one of the ovals anyways, where tire wear has really been an issue. So it will be interesting to see how some of these guys handle tire wear as we expect to have some longer green flag runs here.
Chat from Nagisa Racing, I believe. That might be Yoshi. I'm not 100% sure. But he says, let's go TWR, Team Watson Racing. They cleaned up a couple of weeks ago with James Watson winning Michigan and then following it up in the Thunderdome with a Yoshi victory. That was an electric night. And got to give a shout out here as viewers are starting to come in to everybody that watched the Thunderdome, watched our clips. Between the clips and the actual VOD rewatches, we had about 350 channel views over the last 2 weeks, which is just unbelievable. That's just crazy to me. So thank you to everybody who watched the clips and the VODs and all that. And thank you to the 3 followers that we had while we were away. Trans Taco, of course, a competitor as well. Glad she could give us a follow. Pisces, I believe, is how you pronounce our second follower while we were away. And then some guy named NJWell212 is the most recent follower that we had, which I don't know why you weren't following in the first place, but thanks a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not really sure who that is.
Oh, no. Well, thanks for following anyway. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
As we, whoa! Get
Whoa!
down! That's the race leader! Oh, you're kidding me! And that car is jumped!
Wow, well, we're going to have to go take a look at that just as we're having a little fun moment here. I all of a sudden see Gavin Sanders just dropping in the standings on my screen here. What do you say we go take a look at exactly what happened here, Tommy?
The exact quote from Gavin Sanders when he hit the button to tow was, "Yikes."
Oh, boy.
That was all he said. And boy, I tell you what, he got loose and overcorrected. That's really what it boiled down to there.
Yeah, we're following him down here into turn 1. You can see he's loose right there. Trying to arc the corner. Still loose, still loose. He's holding on to it at the moment, though. Still loose, even more sideways. And there you go. He overcorrects. Turns that wheel a little too far to the right. Oh, yeah. I think that one is pretty much going to spell the end of the night for Gavin Sanders.
So, bad string of luck for Gavin Sanders in his 2 starts here. But now we've got some pit strategy going on. Michael DeTurk, Dakota DeMade have elected to stay out, and pretty much everybody else has just hit pit road.
Yeah, definitely an interesting strategy, especially since, I mean, you know, these guys are definitely going to have to pit at least one more time. I'm guessing tire wear is probably going to play a large part in this decision if I had to guess.
Well, here's the thing, is fuel window's 50 laps. So you're going to have to take a pit stop no matter what.
Right.
As the race off of pit road. And this is essentially the battle for third. Nate Siefker's first off, so he'll be in third. Justin Miller will be in fourth. James Watson will be in fifth. Wes A. Shire in sixth. Christian Jasper. Nicholas Isidro, Drew White, and Ben Carswell now up to 10th.
Wow, and I mean, I am shocked. I think we need to go back and talk about that incident with Gavin Sanders. I mean, he was really putting it on the field there. I know he had lost maybe a little bit of time to Siefker there, but I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was marginal at best.
It was, the gap was still floating around at 1.2, 1.3 seconds, and that's pretty much where it had stayed after they leveled out about 15 laps into that run. So that was surprising, and now Gavin Sanders has disconnected, so his night is officially over. And wow, shocking, genuinely shocking to see that from Gavin. Yeah.
I really honestly don't know what to say. I mean, that was quite something. We were up here having a great time in the broadcast booth, just kind of joking around. We thought that he was just kind of maybe run away with it. And as you can see, you can't get too comfortable here in the RIL Legend Series because it might come up and bite you.
Race car's off. New leader is Michael de Turk. So Sanders will be credited for the first 21 laps, I believe. And then Nate Siefker for a lap. And Michael de Turk now leads the way. And I should point out also, as de Turk is our race leader, that he is the only driver to lead a lap in every single race this season.
Wow, that's actually incredible.
He led 2 in Atlanta, led every single lap at Watkins Glen, 35, and was good for, 5 laps in Michigan last week before he was involved in an accident, actually battling for the lead. So now the Turk out front and DeMade in second. Dakota DeMade says that Milwaukee is his least favorite track on the schedule for Season 1. And he's not really showing it because he's in second place right now, albeit on some pit strategy. But he was still running inside the top 5 before the caution. So he's had a good night after what's been a really quiet season for a champion with the Schaefer's IndyCar Series. And finally making some noise here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I want to shout out, we got some great action going on back here, a little bit mid-pack around between 8th and 12th place. Drew White's gained a couple of more spots. I want to say he restarted 10th or 11th, and he's made his way up to 8th place. So a great restart for him. And I think Bless Lopez...
He was outside of the top 10 as well. He was in 12th or 13th, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, and he's found his way up to 10th. So a couple of great restarts for the two of them, and we got some great action going on here in mid-pack.
Bless Lopez joined the race server, or the Discord server, I should say, the day before the Michigan race last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say. And immediately made a mark. He got up front and led some laps, was running inside the top 5, but when he got caught up in the Michael de Turk accident, and still rallied to finish 12th in his debut after leading a couple of laps. So Bless Lopez from Charlotte, North Carolina, came in late, but he says he still wants to finish in the top 5 in points. And with this point system, that is entirely possible.
It certainly is. It only takes really one great race to kind of propel you well up from this in the standings if you are a little bit farther down on the list.
So third on back have fresh tires, but the top 2 cars have separated themselves from everybody else. That's a bit odd. Dakota DeMade right now is running just south of 3 seconds in front of Nate Siefker in third.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a case that, it might take a little while for the tires to maybe warm up on this track. So these guys might be taking a little bit easy this first, 10 laps or so of this run with those new tires. And then after that, they can kind of get after it possibly.
So the gap right now between de Turk and DeMade is around a second, about 9.5 tenths, that is. At that time at the line, actually, it's a little bit more than a second as de Turk continues to put some time on the field.
Yeah, and our drivers that went to the pits and took tires, Nate Siefker leads that group, who is in third at the moment. And if we look at his gap, he is a solid almost 4.5 seconds behind our leader, Michael de Turk, at the moment.
So let's think ahead then. Let's just let's just throw it out there that this race is going to go flag to flag from here on out. Restart on lap 24. 3 laps under caution for the top 2 guys here. So they're going to pit on lap. They can probably make it to 52, 53, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do the rest of these guys do? Do they go 50 on the number and pit with about 15 laps to go, or do they split it and pit on, say, lap 65 or 70?
I mean, if it was me, I would probably try to go as long as possible. I think it's possible to maybe get a caution and pit under yellow, I think would probably be the way to go. And it also looks like maybe tire wear is not as much of an issue, especially if you have new tires. The only thing I will say is if it does take that long for tires to get warm and for you to kind of wear those things in to where they're super fast, you may want to think about pitting a little bit earlier, pit on maybe lap 60 or 70 so you can get those things heated up and have some speed there towards the end of the race. It's a tough call, though.
Closest battle we have on the track right now is the battle for 5th. James Watson has it. Wesley Shire wants it. Christian Jasper is in the mix as well there.
Yeah, we've been watching this battle pretty closely here on screen, and we were talking about how guys are going to be running some different lines here tonight, and Wesley Shire is entering the middle of the corner much lower than we've seen most drivers do here tonight, so just interesting to see the different lines that these guys are running.
It's been a tough outing thus far for Christopher Kresge. He's battling right now for the 13th spot with Peter Donchak. 4 drivers actually in their survey marked that Milwaukee was their least favorite track on the schedule. Kresge was one of them. Kerry Kelso didn't even get a chance to turn a lap here tonight, but he was one of them as well as Dakota DeMade, and the 4th one is slipping from my mind right now for some reason. But nevertheless, it is funny that Kresge would say that Milwaukee's his least favorite track, but yet he's the one that put the schedule together. So I guess they all can't be for you, but if I was running a league, they would all be for me. I guess that's why I'm not running a league.
I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
I will agree that, these somewhat flatter short tracks are probably, maybe not as comfortable for some of these guys that are used to running either road courses or the big ovals, that we have run already this season. So something a little different like this with flatter corners and a short track. Some of these guys probably just aren't that comfortable with it. So this is one that many marked as their least favorite, if I had to guess.
We do have Rockingham a little bit later in the year, which is I don't know. It's not. It's similar to this, I guess, in the fact that it's going to be a little more tuned down. But the track itself is really nothing like Milwaukee. It's just got a similar lap distance. But that could be a similar flavor, maybe a little faster. But we also have Indianapolis here in a couple of weeks, where we will be at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park next week, I do believe. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to our next road course race, of course, because we had an unfortunate little mishap with iRacing at our first one at Watkins Glen. So I'm looking forward to having a full road course race being broadcasted here on the channel.
And I was forgetting an oval. I'm forgetting a couple ovals, but the one I was really trying to think of was Pocono, as the caution is out on the track.
Out.
I believe it's Kresge. Christopher Kresge is around in turn number 2. Have to go back and take a look at what happened there.
Yeah, you can see he's on the apron right now. We're going to go back and see if we can take a look at that replay and see exactly what happened to our race director, Christopher Kresge.
I'm going to beat you to the punch here and tell you that it was almost exactly what happened to Sanders. He just lost it on corner entry. It wasn't even an overcorrect that time. It was just a full snap around, but it was in the exact same part of the track as our former race leader, Gavin Sanders.
Oh, yeah, he just got loose. Yeah, you're right. The exact same part. He just didn't correct it like Sanders did and ended up actually snapping all the way around and then washing up the track and making pretty hard contact with the wall. If I had to guess, his night might not necessarily be over, but as far as, standings go, he's probably going to end up towards the bottom of the board here tonight.
No surprise, Michael the Turk, Dakota DeMate have pit, but I'm surprised at the number of people that came with him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars have just hit pit road. Nate Siefker has stayed out. And that is it.
Wow, that is actually incredibly surprising from what we've seen thus far in this race. We're only on lap 45. I guess they're thinking that if they have a couple more cautions, they could probably stretch it all the way to the end.
They might be able to. And honestly, we aren't privy to their mileage. They may be getting a little better mileage than what we have assumed that they're getting. I'm basing that, the number 50, off of the data that I took from solo laps around the track, and also kind of what I've corroborated with Christopher Kresge to get that number 50. So maybe their mileage is a little better. Maybe the mileage isn't better, but you're right. They're maybe banking on some caution laps, or just gonna try and outright stretch it. Who knows? It's I don't know if I'd want to stretch when seemingly 20 laps into a run, people start to lose their right rear tire. It's happened twice now.
Right, I mean,
to keep our eye on.
Yeah, definitely something to keep our eye on. I think, I think fuel is definitely possible to stretch, but I guess it's really just a matter of how slow are you going to be at the end of that run in the first place without the fuel saving, I guess. I don't know. It's really hard to say. And we were talking about how the two leaders who did not pit kind of got out in front of everybody there. That could also have a little bit of something to do with dirty air. I think in Atlanta, we kind of saw that dirty air kind of affected these cars a little bit. So that could also have something to do with it as well.
Can't tell if Nate Siefker is memeing right now. He's just called for a red flag.
I'm gonna guess probably a meme, but
I'm assuming very meme. But pace car in theory should pull off this time. It'll be lap 48 at the line, and should also mention here as we're around halfway in the race that this is not our final race here tonight. That's right. The doors are back open for the Thunderdome. Here, right after the conclusion of the race here at the Milwaukee Mile, we still don't know what the track is. But unfortunately, you and I aren't going to be calling the action. It's going to be Denim Dan and King Mart are going to be stepping in our places. But it's going to be a lot of fun here on Turn 200 Productions. As the green flag is back out, Siefker is off and running.
Yeah, and Siefker took a heck of a jump there. Maybe you know what the rules are a little bit better than I do about when the leaders can go, whether it's on green or it's on leader after the pace car pulls off. But
I think it's as soon as the pace car hangs a left, you are good to go as long as you don't pick up a black flag.
Well, that's sure. That's what he did, because he pulled way out in front of Michael the Turk, who is currently in second right now.
Second, almost a second behind Siefker. Now remember, Siefker's the only car that stayed out. Everybody else just came to pit road. Best battle right now is between Isidro and Jasper. That's for spot number 8. Isidro took it from Jasper pretty quickly on the restart.
Yeah, and a little bit farther back than that, we have Joshua Tucker making a move on Bless Lopez, I believe. So Joshua Tucker makes his way up to 11th, putting Bless Lopez in 12th, and he's really motoring. Tucker's trying to make a move on our in-race reporter Carswell now.
Carswell shut the door that time out of turn 4. We are halfway to the finish as Jasper, tight action there, looks inside of Isidro. Isidro not having it, pulls away down the back straightaway for now. But maybe one more looky-loo here for car number 44. Not this time.
Yeah, and I'm loving the action off of these restarts.
Sorry, Christopher Kresge has just disconnected. Go ahead, Matt.
I was just saying, I love the action off of these restarts, especially with the pit strategy. You know, we have some guys that maybe they don't have as good of pit stops as some of the others, but they're quick. As we see, Joshua Tucker does make a pass on Ben Carswell. He finds himself in the top 10 now.
Carswell not having it. Looks back to the inside. Tucker shuts the door. And now Jasper to the inside of Isidro. Give the spot back to Christian Jasper, but Isidro with a crossover into turn 1. That's the battle for 8th. Isidro wants it back. Not giving Jasper any room into turn number 3.
And this has been a heck of a battle here since we restarted this race. Jasper's looking to cross him over again to the inside.
Oh, tight there. Isidro still has it. Jasper's not going away yet.
You know, we've seen these guys. These guys race each other very cleanly for the most part. A lot of respect between all of these drivers. So it's great to see close racing like that without any incidents. You know, that's what we want to see here on Turn 200 Productions.
Keeping you informed on what's going on up front, Nate Siefker is now pulled out to a 2.5-second advantage over Michael DeTurk. And another 2.5 seconds back to third from DeTurk, you find Dakota DeMade. And Justin Miller, James Watson right now round out your top 5. The gap from first to fifth at the line is 7.1 seconds. So Nate Siefker is off and running after a tumultuous start to the season for Siefker, one that he has not liked very much. He really technically only has 2 DNFs, but he really didn't finish the race in Atlanta either. He was leading, heading into turn number 1 on the white flag lap, and ended up impaling himself on the catch fence. And just technically, I don't think that counts as a DNF, but nevertheless, really 3 DNFs for Siefker. Any of them really his fault? No, not really. But it's been not a good start for Siefker, who says he wants to do well, but he's not taking this 100% seriously. This is technically Schaefer's IndyCar League off-season, so this is just some off-season fun. But I'm sure there are some guys that really are taking it 100% seriously. Not saying that Siefker isn't right now. I'm sure he's as serious as a heart attack up front.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want after you get out of the car, but when you're in that driver's seat and you got somebody breathing down your neck, I think you're taking it pretty seriously.
Siefker's around down the back straightaway. He stalls it, backs it into the grass. I don't think he hit anything, but he just lost it. What is happening?
Wow, and we have seen 2 of our leaders.
Dakota DeMay just came over the radio and said that's an interesting strategy.
Oh my goodness. What do you say we go take a look back?
I'll tell you what happened. Siefker hit the rumble strips in the middle of the corner and pushed it wide and just lost it. But again, the replay will get a better look here, but I don't know if he hit anything.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't hit the outside wall, and he keeps it in the middle of the track. You are correct. He didn't hit anything. So, you know, probably going to need to go get some new tires. But other than that, he should still have a pretty good car here.
We didn't even make it 20 laps that time, but also Siefker had a few more laps on his tires than everybody else. So now what does the strategy look like? What are we doing up front? Turk stays out, DeMade stays out, Miller is in, James Watson has stayed out, but I think everybody else has just come down pit road.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 3 single-car incidents up to this point, and like we said previously, if you are up there in the front, it looks like we got a couple other cars that stayed out.
Dale Lemon is a lap down.
Wave rounds.
Neil Lusher has also stayed out, but he is on the lead lap. So D.L. Lemon is not going to get the wave around, unfortunately. And there are no lucky dogs. So Lemon, I don't think pits were open for him. That's probably why he's still out there. The race off pit road, Justin Miller, Wes A. Shire, Nate Siefker out in third. Isidro and Drew White were the first 5 off of pit road. but they'll restart 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, and if you take a look at our chat here on the channel, Tommy, Thug Daddy, a.k.a. Christopher Kresge, just hopped in here and said that this is probably going to hit the time limit, and we may not get all 100 laps in. So those guys that stayed out, probably a little strategy with the time limit as well.
Something we've mentioned a couple of times in a panic, but I've been wrong about every time that I've brought it up. So now, hearing it from Thug Daddy himself, that's going to be interesting to see. My lapse time on this race session says 35 minutes right now, and we're on lap 62. But my lapse time is always wrong.
Yeah, and I don't want to show the viewers the behind-the-scenes footage of what this iRacing UI actually looks like, so I'm not going to look myself. But it's only 7:35. I think Thug Daddy this may have been more of a joke because we've had so many incidents.
I don't know, honestly.
But
Maybe.
it's only 7:35. I want to say this race started the session, started at 7 o'clock or a little after 7.
Probably.
Excuse me.
Or yeah, 7:02
Central Time, anyways.
Yeah, Central Time. Yeah, 8:02 Eastern Time.
So I think
Should
if
be,
these.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if they do go green, which we have not seen up to this point, so it's very possible we have at least 1 or 2 more incidents and a caution being thrown. But if we do go green, I do think it is maybe possible that we get all 100 laps in.
Yeah, I have to go green from here on out. But Michael the Turk right now in the snake-bitten position, first.
Yeah, we've seen 2 of our leaders. Yeah, 2 of our leaders have had single car incidents and taken themselves out of the race. So, well, sort of. Siefker isn't necessarily out of the race, but he is certainly out of first place where he would like to be. He currently finds himself in, I believe, 7th. So,
yes.
So yeah, I don't know if first is necessarily the place you want to be tonight. Generally, I would say that's exactly where you want to be, but we've had some bad luck here for our leaders, so we'll see.
The Turk really stacks up the rest of the field here as we get ready to go back green. But he gets a good jump. As we look for some action a little further back in the pack, it's not going to be up front for right now. James Watson.
Looks like Siefker got around Wes A. Shire, who's trying to make a move on him on the inside, coming out of 4 right now.
That is a tight battle there. That's for a spot number 6, excuse me. Siefker was the leader. Then brought out that caution with the solo car spin.
And these 2 are going to battle. We see Siefker now puts it on the inside of Wes A. Shire. He pulls in behind him now. We'll see if he has something for him down here into turn 1 as Wes A. Shire takes the inside. Closes the door.
Siefker makes the run from the top. Kind of diamonds the corner, gets a good run. He'll have a look here into turn 3. Looks to the inside. Shire shuts the door.
With these 2 battling, Nicholas Isidro, the 424, has now found himself fairly close to Nate Siefker, who could put himself into the mix of this battle as well.
The Turk demade Watson. Neil Lusher in 4th after staying out there. He's hung tight in the top 5. Justin Miller rounds out your top 5 right now. Shire, Siefker, Isidro, Jasper, and Tucker, the top 10. Tucker about to be under fire from Ben Carswell, our in-race reporter.
Yeah, and I know I mentioned this before, but Wes A. Shire is just running a very different line than most of the field here tonight. He is entering the corners much lower than anybody else is. And that certainly plays a factor in some of these position battles, is he likes to take the inside, as we see Siefker goes to the inside of him here.
But Shire's so quick to pinch Siefker down there. Really just stifle the run. There's going to be a point where there's no more give and there is all take. We'll see what point that gets, or at what point the give goes away and the take is prominent there. As lap number 69 has been completed. Very nice. On to lap 70.
Yeah, and I know we've been throwing these mid-pack battles quite a bit, maybe not giving our leaders the attention they deserve. We're going to go ahead and throw the old driver details up here on our current race leader, Michael DeTurk, the number 47 car.
Michael DeTurk out of Rochester, New York, is looking to become the first person to win multiple races here with the RIL Legends Series. In season number 1, he was the winner, the dominator of Watkins Glen. And the Lotus 79 led all 35 laps in that race. And I don't know how many laps he has led tonight. I don't have that anywhere on any of my stuff. the least professional thing I could think of to call that is stuff. On any of my who's-its and what's-its and gadgets that I have on my second screen, I don't have anything that shows how many laps he's led. But he's been out front here a couple of different times for a while. And Dakota DeMaid has been running second for what seems like most of this race. James Watson, Neil Lusher, Justin Miller. Right now the gap from first to fifth is 4 seconds. But I tell you what, Dakota DeMaid is closing in on the race leader.
I was just going to say, this has been a lot closer. The front three are much closer than we've seen up to this point. In today's race, we'll go ahead and throw the old driver details up on James Watson as well, who was our race winner in our last race of this series 2 weeks ago at Michigan, as we have a caution out.
I believe that was Neil Lusher, and it is. Oh, tough break. And I believe what you're going to see on the replay is another single car spin.
Yeah, let's go ahead and try to take a look at that and see what we got here.
Lusher has been in second place in the points after every single race this year. Or this season, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, we're watching it right now, and he enters fairly high up on the wall. We're going to go ahead and go back a little bit here. So this is him on the backstretch entering turn 3 right here. And you're going to see he's way up there on the wall and is trying to cut down to the inside of the corner. And as he tries to make his left turn, he just loses it.
Couple of takers on pit road, Christian Jasper, Joshua Tucker, Drew White, of course, Neil Lusher as well. It's going to be a tough road for Neil tonight to hold on to his second place points finish, but you never know. According to my timer here, we are inside of the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes left in this race with just under 25 laps to go.
Yep, inside of the 10-minute mark. We're going to have probably, what'll it be, 24 to go when we, or 23 to go when we go green here?
I believe so.
Our lap times are under 25 seconds. So we're going to be somewhat close. We may end up hitting that time limit, though.
That'll be something to keep your eye on. We'll see if the overlay gives us the white flag. I may get the white flag here on the UI. I'm not 100% sure. Since I'm not actually a competitor in the race. It gives me the yellows, but I don't know if it gives me anything else.
What do you say we go ahead and run through our top 10 here real quick, Tommy?
Absolutely. Michael DeTurk has been out front for a while now. He's still the race leader. Dakota DeMaid right now in second. James Watson, your winner from Michigan right now, hanging tough on the podium. And third, Justin Miller running in fourth. Wes A. Shire rounding out your top 5 for the time being. Nate Siefker, after his spin, is back up into spot number 6. Behind him is Nicholas Isidro, who's having a good run here tonight. Bless Lopez right now runs in the 8th position. In-race reporter Ben Carswell in 9th, and Kevin Missig is another new driver here to the RIL Legend Series. He is in the top 10 right now as well. Kevin Missig from Oak Harbor, Ohio. This will be the first time I get to talk about him. And I got to clear something up from last week for the 114 car, because I said that he got damage on the start and fell 2 laps down. That's not what happened. Somebody checked up in front of him on the initial start. Coming to the line, he went low to miss, and that was deemed a passing under yellow. So he got a black flag for that. And had to come in and serve the penalty. Was 2 laps down and then ran with the leaders the rest of the race. So he had the pace and the know-how to do it, but with no wave arounds, it was really hard for Kevin to get back onto the lead lap, and it didn't happen. So good to see him running in the top 10 here tonight. He's actually a spec Corvette racer in real life.
Oh, wow.
I went and found his YouTube channel. He has some really cool onboards from various tracks throughout the United States, running the Corvettes. So that was really cool. Go check it out. But right now, Michael DeTurk gonna take the green flag here with 22 laps to go at the line, or about 7 minutes to go, should I say. Well, he's really stacking them up again as the green flag flies. He's gonna get the big jump. Justin Miller was already looking to the inside of Watson. Now he falls back.
And we have Seifker trying to make a move on Wes A. Shire. These two. Oh, and Shire goes around.
Oh, no. Tough break for Shire.
Those two have been doing battle all night. Wes A. Shire making some great moves on a couple of folks. And he just got bitten. Let's go take a look and see what happened. I think Wes A. Shire and Seifker ended up getting together there. Let's take a look.
I think our old friend has just reared his head.
Who's the old friend there, Tommy?
Net code?
Ah.
Maybe. It's kind of what it looked like from the blimp view anyway.
Oh my. That, yeah, I would have to guess this. I'm going to try to get maybe a little bit of a different angle.
That was horrible. That code. Holy
yeah,
crap.
I'm gonna try to get a little bit of a different angle here. I mean, Seifker did get pretty close to his left rear tire, but never made contact. And the way netcode works, it kind of projects where the car is gonna be, and it just didn't project him making a move to the left, and ended up turning Wes A. Shire around. We'll try to maybe get a little bit of a different view here. Hopefully that we can maybe see that a little better. It's gonna be pretty far out. Actually going to go to Seifker, and let's get a little nose view here.
Don't believe anybody hit pit road that time.
That's not a great view.
With the exception of course, Wes A. Shire, and Neil Lusher is continuing to repair his damage as well. He's still in the lead lap, though, so he must have had only optional for our friend across the pond. So there is a little glimmer of hope that he might make up a few more spots.
Yeah, took a little ride with Wes A. Shire there. Just really unfortunate. I mean, yeah, a lot of our... I hate to say this, but a lot of our incidents on our ovals actually have been due to netcode.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly have had a couple of incidents that were faults of drivers. Don't get me wrong, we definitely have that. But we have had more than 1 or 2 incidents that have been caused by netcode, and that's just something that...
Per race.
Unfortunately, yes, per race. You are correct. That's something that just unfortunately happens here on the sim. So... Really, really tough one for Wes A. Shire. He was having a great showing, really putting on a show for us up here in the broadcast booth as well.
I've found a tool here in my gadgets that actually tells us how much time is left in the race. It is now down to 4 minutes and 45 seconds here, as we should be getting the 1 to go this time. So it's going to be essentially a 3.5 minute shootout here for the win.
Yeah, and the racing certainly has gotten tighter and tighter as our restarts have gotten here towards the end of the race. You know, our restarts have been quite exciting, so we may not be done with incidents up to this point either, and if we have one more, that may be the end of the race. So it's kind of a, you know, do you want to try to push it too hard and possibly wreck, and then you know, the race is over without the actual laps being done? You know, it's a tough call here.
Well, we've seen this already. The last 3 restarts to Turk pulling way off of the pace car, backing way up, making sure he stacks everybody up. He is the control car. This is allowed. He's going to try and get the big jump, but Dakota DeMade is going to be right there trying to pounce as well. Green flag is out. Officially, 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in the race. Laps are up, but forget about the laps. It's down to the time. Great start for the Turk. DeMade right now in second, but James Watson is closing in for the spot, and that is exactly what the Turk wants to see. Pretty well single file through our first 6 or 7 cars. And the caution is out. That is going to be it.
And it looks like it was Christian Jasper. Huh. I don't know who just said that, but I heard somebody congratulate Michael on his win.
Dakota DeMade was the one that came across and said that. And that's too bad for Christian, who was running in the top 10 the entire race and had a tangle there with Peter Donchak, it looks like.
Whoa, and wow, he actually saved it from hitting the inside wall there. I can't believe that.
So we will go ahead and we're down inside of 2 minutes now. So there's pretty much no chance that this is going to get going.
And we're taking another look here. The incident with Christian Jasper. Yeah, I think he thought that Peter Donchik was going to maybe stay up a little closer to the wall, and Donchik actually kind of stayed down in like the second or possibly even third lane down from the wall, and just didn't really give Jasper any room to go anywhere other than down towards the inside wall, which I'm sure Christian was not expecting to happen.
Uh-oh. Look in the chat. Don't forget, we're going to the Thunderdome after this, folks.
Oh,
and we hope to see you there. Daytona Road Course is what's on tap for the Thunderdome here tonight. Woo!
And if there's anybody that missed the Thunderdome broadcast from King Mart and Denim Dan a couple of weeks ago, you might want to stay tuned in. We're going to end our broadcast and then start another one right back up for the Thunderdome race. So once we go off air for the RIL Legend Series, you do not want to go anywhere, because you surely do not want to miss the Thunderdome.
All right, so across the line this time, we have 45 seconds left. Barney is still waving the yellow flag. I'm assuming next time around it will be the checkers. They do not lap under caution here in less than 40 seconds.
Yep, and if it is indeed the checker the next time around, we will have completed 87 laps out of 100 here tonight. So quite a few laps short, as we've had quite a few incidents here at the end of the race.
Michael DeTurk has now led the most laps this season. He's the only driver with multiple poles. He's the only driver to lead a lap in every single race.
And I want to correct myself. We will have completed 88 laps at this point, if this is indeed the last lap.
Across the line this time,
And I see a yellow flag from
our friend Barney is
flag man.
still waving a yellow flag. Think this will be the white flag. And Dakota DeMay just said as much over the radio, so I think this is going to be it. Again. Exhilarating finish.
Yeah, you know, we said that we thought we might have some longer green flag runs, which, to be fair, we did have a couple that were longer than our longest of the season up to this point. So we did have some longer green flag runs, but a lot of single car incidents, which we have not seen up to this point. So I think that goes to show why a lot of our drivers here tonight said that Milwaukee was the one they were looking forward to the least.
And I tell you what, the Turk is backing up like we're going back green here.
And the pace car's pulled off.
The pace car's pulling off. I think we're going back green. Green flag is out. Maybe it's a green-white checkered here.
As the Turk takes off, he's on the inside. I hear some people saying they don't know what's going on.
Was that the green flag or
that was the
checkered flag? I think
that was the
just happened. What on earth just happened?
You gotta love iRacing.
Let's call it this time. Out of turn 4, the first man to win multiple times in the RIL Legends Series is car number 47, Michael the Turk.
And the Turk was up there all night. He used a little bit of pit strategy to get himself back up there, but he just about got clipped by another driver.
Green.
As we have a driver spinning in the pits as well.
All right, really quick, I'm going to pull in Ben Carswell for an interview here.
Alrighty.
Ben Carswell, you're in the broadcast booth. 7th place finish here tonight in what was just a really weird race. How do you feel about it?
With 7th, I wasn't anticipating 7th about halfway through the race. We had some pretty drastic tire fall off that ended up with these like really regularly scheduled cautions every 20 laps.
Yeah.
The tires, it would go from being like a boat to being perfect for about 5 laps, and then it would start sliding uncontrollably.
Yeah, so they looked unsteady for sure.
Yeah, it's a very hot track, very powerful car, and it was very unsteady. And then at the end, it was just sort of a gamble of, I don't think we're going to have enough time to find the tires. And I think I can get something, because pitting every time wasn't working, clearly. So I figured, why not just, take a swing. And it worked.
There you go. You had some pretty fun battles throughout the race. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here? Who helped you get to a 7th place finish here tonight?
Well, I want to thank the nationalracingnetwork.com for your racing news. You can read my rating on there about IndyCar. I want to thank Delicate Creations Art on Etsy, big sponsor of the car, and of course Turn 200 and the RIL for putting this on. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy these cars a lot.
Well, awesome. Good run here tonight. Way to stay out of trouble. Way to gamble and win. And we'll hope to talk to you here soon.
Yep. Thank you very much.
All right, we've got our race winner, Michael the Turk, in the waiting for interview. And here is the first multi-time winner in RIL Legends Series history, Michael the Turk, with another fantastic showing here tonight. And way to get it done on the oval here tonight.
Thanks. It was nice not to crash for once.
You had a great restart strategy of just kind of stacking everybody up and getting a great jump. And I know that's not the only thing you can attribute the victory here or to here tonight, but that certainly got a lot of space between you and everybody that was chasing.
Yeah, I needed to get a little bit of a gap because I was going to run out of fuel if we didn't get cautions, and I knew I had to fuel save. That's why there were some random laps in there where I was 6/10, 7/10 off the pace. I had the gap behind me to Dakota, who was on the same fuel strategy as me, and I knew that if I was going to run out, he was going to run out.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But you're now the only driver to lead a lap in every single race this season, and you definitely led the most laps here tonight. So a fantastic run, and yeah, like you said, being able to finish on the oval for once after you've had great runs going at every oval Has to be especially nice here tonight.
Yeah, it felt good to finish.
Well, there you go. Who put you in victory lane here tonight? Who do you want to thank and give a shout out to?
I'd like to thank other people, but it was all me. But thank you guys for the great broadcast and Chris for putting the series together.
That's beautiful. That's poetry in motion right there for your race winner, Michael the Turk. Thank you very much. I know we'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice night.
All righty. We gotta sign off. We're on a quick off here, but I do want to tell you the finishing order really quick here. 19 cars joined us here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. Michael the Turk is your winner. Dakota DeMade with his best finish of the season. He finishes second. Your race winner from Michigan, James Watson, follows it up with a third place run here tonight. Good run for him. Justin Miller and Nate Siefker round out your top 5. Nicholas Isidro in 6th. Ben Carswell, Bless Lopez, Kevin Missig, and Joshua Tucker, the top 10. Peter Donchak in 11th. Drew White, Neil Lusher, Christian Jasper, DL Lemon, the top 15. And then DNFs here tonight from 16th down to 19th. Wes A. Shire, Christopher Kresge, Gavin Sanders from the lead will finish in 18th. And Kerry Kelso really is a DNS. Hit the starting grid and got disconnected. So, Matt, some quick thoughts here before we head to the Thunderdome.
Well, I mean, we see Michael the Turk, we've already mentioned it, has led a lap in every race and has had some unfortunate finishes out of that, actually. So, like we said, great to see him finish a race. He's been fast at every track all season long, so things are finally starting to go his way after he's had a couple of unfortunate finishes. One thing I do want to mention is Wes A. Shire was very good all night, and we saw that he got caught up in an incident there towards the end, unfortunately due to quite a bit of net code. So not necessarily the finish that he wanted, but he had a great showing almost all night anyways.
So that is going to do it here tonight for Turn 200 Productions from the Milwaukee Mile. Don't forget, we're on right now in the Thunderdome, getting ready to start from Daytona. Daytona! All right, so we'll see you in a few minutes here. Back again on Turn 200 Productions. But for now, for Matt Williamson and myself, until we meet again, hope to see you in Daytona. But if not, congratulations to Michael the Turk from the Milwaukee Mile.